Okay, in this video we're going to talk about some more list operations. Let's go ahead and create a couple of lists. So we'll say, I'm just going to make up some names. Andy, Barry, Charlie, Duncan, Eddie, and Frank. So we can say print A. And so we get that list of names. So now we're going to create another list. I'm going to make it empty. Now we're going to talk about pop and append. So I'm going to say a.pop, and then we'll go ahead and print A again. So you can see it removed Frank from the list. Now let's go ahead and remove elements from A and add them to element B. So we're going to say b.append a.pop, and let's do that a couple of times. I'll do it one more. And then we can say print A, and then we'll print B. Let's see what happened here. Oh, I forgot the space. Alright, so now list A is reduced to Andy and Barry, and we have list B is Eddie, Duncan, and Charlie. And you can see they're in reverse order because of the way we popped them off and added them to the list. So now we can do some insertions. To insert items on the list, you can say b.insert, and then you specify the index where to insert. So we can insert 1, or insert at position 0 on the front of the list, and we'll add Harry. So now you see it's Harry, Eddie, Duncan, Charlie. Now let's say we wanted to add another one at a different location. You could say b.insert, let's say at position 2, and we'll put Francis, and then print B. And so now you see it put Francis at position 2. So it tells you when you specify position 2, you're telling it to put that new value at position 2 or index 2. Okay, so there's another thing we can do. We can remove a specific element. So let's type v.remove, and then we can say Francis, and then we'll say print B. So now it's back to Harry, Eddie, Duncan, Charlie after removing Francis. And we've talked a little bit about slicing before. Now let's talk about searching. So I can say print, let's just make up a character in B, and then we'll say print Eddie in B. And so you can see it returned booleans. It returned false for Z and B, but it returned true for Eddie and B. So that's how you can check a list to see if an element is present there. And that works for numbers too. So let's create a list of numbers. X is 1, 4, 55, 22, 119. Sorry, let's end it with a square brace, and then we could say print 55 in X, print minus 12 in X. And so you get true false because 55 is in the list X, and we get false because minus 12 is not in the list X. Another thing we can do is we can get the index. So you can say print B index and square brace, and see, let's get the index of Duncan. So it says Duncan true is not on the list. Oh, sorry. Let's just do Duncan. Like that. Sorry about that with the syntax. So you put print b.index Duncan, and it returns the index of that value. So we could do the same thing for x. You just say x.index, and let's say we wanted the index of 22. Invalid syntax. I forgot the T there. And so it gives us the index of element 22, which is 3. Okay, so another way to add elements to a list, which is pretty clever, is to use the plus equals syntax. So just to, in case you don't know, let's say I have a number sum equals 0. If I write sum equals sum plus 1, that would be the same as plus equals 1. Okay, so that's just a shorthand syntax. So something we can do is we can say b is plus equals 2, and let's add a new person to the list. Let's say Rose, and then we can print b out. And so now you see it stuck Rose at the end of the list. So it sticks the element at the end of the list. So I could do it again. I could plus equals a, and then let's go ahead and print that out again. And so now you see it added the list A, which was Andy and Barry, onto the end of the list B. And another thing we can do is we can immediately double a list by writing this. We can say B times equals 2, and just for an aside note, that's the same as saying B is B times 2. And so we'll go ahead and print that. And so now you see it doubled the list. It made an exact copy of that list and appended it on the end. So that's a little bit on searching, getting an index, append, pop, and adding items to the list.